wear my hair down to my back.
Hello, welcome to Two Mad Beans Podcast. A new week, a new episode. My people from SHE Achieve Afrika, they are back on the podcast. The last time we treated periods in pandemic, and they were here to educate us on the happenings on the ground when it comes to periods in the hinterlands, how the children are coping. And today they are back again for us to discuss a major topic concerning this election year. So we are almost going for an election, and every party is trying to tell us the good policies they have for this country. And today, SHE Achieve Afrika, they are on the grounds. They speak to children. They are helping children to improve their lives. So today, 5 policies the next government should adapt to improve girl-child development. Kingsley, welcome.
Thank you.
Barbara, welcome.
Thank you.
Hope you are doing good.
I'm very well.
So I enjoyed our last episode, periods in pandemic. Our people also enjoyed it. Our listeners enjoyed it. And we are happy to have you back on the podcast. So it's an election year. So many parties are around. They are telling us the good things they want to do for this country. And today, you guys be on the ground, seeing things, seeing the reality. I want you guys to share some 5 policies that the next government should put in place, should implement to help girl-child development. So Kingsley, when it comes to education, Kingsley, Barbara, any of you can take it. Education, which policy should the next government put in place or strengthen to help the girl-child development?
Well, I think at the moment there is this, there's free education. Mm-hmm. Basically, Ghana, we have free education from the primary school all the way to the secondary school now. Mm-hmm. And with that, I think over 10 million students are benefiting, with 1.2 million coming from the secondary school.
Okay.
And I think that is actually a very good initiative, because one of the main things that we know through research is that poverty is one of the main reasons why girls students in general don't go to school. So if someone has actually taken that burden of them, I think with that side of their policies, I think it's very good. Mm-hmm. It's just maybe it's actually let's say it coincides with another policy. Mm-hmm. Because they are embarking on the double track system, which we know that it's good, but it also has its disadvantages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah.
True.
And also, I think the government is also doing Barbara, but
Free school feeding program.
Yes, there's also the school feeding program that the government is also doing, and it's very important. The last time that we were here, I remember I told you that there are people who actually they close school during the second break, or let's say the first break, because they go home to eat and they don't come back again.
Yeah, true.
So if the government is implementing school feeding program in all these schools, I think it's very also it's a very good topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Free SHS, or free education in Ghana from the primary to the secondary education, is one of the greatest policies that the government have implemented. With our research from our organization, SHE Achieve Afrika, the research that we've gathered, we realized that most students are not able to be in school because of finance. Yeah. Because of the fact that they don't have money to even go to school. So the government implementing this initiative is very good. Okay. Implementing free SHS is one of the greatest initiatives to have.
So meaning that the next government should still continue with the free
SHS? The free SHS, I think it should be something that should continue for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Yes, it should continue for a very long time.
Okay.
Its impact is great. It's very great.
So,
okay, so with that, we get to have 1.2 million students in high school now, going to school free.
Wow.
With these students, we have some of these population being girls. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Girls having access to education for free. Mm-hmm. It's a great initiative, and it's good for girls' development.
Yeah. Cool. And I also want to buttress something. we should also focus more on the infrastructure in our education, as free education is going to also bring some burden on the infrastructures we have in the secondary schools.
I was actually going to come to that.
Okay, cool. So you talk about it.
We talked about the things that they are doing. That's right. So right now, let's talk about the things that we think they should add to it.
Perfect.
Yeah, because let's say at first we all know about whenever they're about to teach sexual health education in school. We used to all get so excited about that topic, but it actually doesn't last as long as maybe I think it should last.
Okay.
Because we are all curious about that topic. Every single student is curious about that topic. But the thing is, we make it a taboo. So we don't actually ask the right questions. We make it look like when you get to know about it, it's like you become a bad boy. That in quotes, like you become a bad boy, become a bad girl. But I think the knowing is actually better than not knowing.
Yeah, true.
Because learning from your peers is not the way to go. Because they are actually also searching.
True.
So if they are to intensify such education,
sexual reproductive
education, I think it will be very good, because that they're actually getting to learn from someone who knows. So they get to know the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
So to talk about girls' development and girls' education, we can't talk about it without talking about sexual and reproductive health when it comes to girls' development. I think it's something that goes hand in hand. And therefore, when girls are in school, sexual and reproductive health education should be part of the academics, should be part of the things that a girl gets to learn. So with that, it will help her in her decision making, so as to know the things to do and things not to do, where to ask the question, where to get access to information and access to even contraceptives and access to condoms and access to these things to help her make such decisions when it comes to their reproductive health or reproductive education. And with that, it helps girls to stay in school, to develop their education, and be the leaders that we want them to be.
Yeah, great. Any other ones?
I can go to the health.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to. So, talking about sex. Okay, so we talked about intensifying. Yeah. So we're talking about sanitary towels in school. Okay. So, I think recent manifesto with the current the ruling government give a manifesto saying that there will be free taxes and on sanitary pads. I think it's a very great. When we heard it, some as an organization that is advocating for access to sanitary towels for girls, so that it will help them to stay in school. When we heard it, we're very glad. It's a great initiative, but can't it be free? I think the way to go is free sanitary pads, because even if they reduce the taxes or they take the taxes off sanitary pads, some girls in rural areas can't even purchase a sanitary pad, even if it's 1 cedi.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
True.
So what we are advocating, or what we are saying, or we are pleading the government to add into their policies is free sanitary pads for students. So that it will help them to stay in school. Now that there's COVID, there's a lot of girls that are staying back home. So we have to put things in place to help them to come to school and stay in school.
Great. I was also thinking that the sick base for senior high schools, the sick base should provide girls with 1 sanitary pad every month. So we just line up the girls and give them.
That's a very good idea.
And junior high school too, every month the teachers should give, the government should give the school sanitary pads to give to their children every month. So it becomes something more easier to access. Okay, so now let's roll to health with the health.
Well, luckily in Ghana here there's the NHIS, the health insurance scheme, and it's a very good initiative started way back. But I think they can add a few things to their list of things that they check. Let's say something as basic as menstrual cramps. It's something that we actually don't talk about, but it happens to almost every girl. Yeah,
true.
And medication, they're painkillers. I'm not sure, maybe they cost something out of the ordinary, but if the government is to add that to maybe the health insurance scheme, you can actually just go to the hospital and just say that you have menstrual cramps and get medicine, and I'm sure that's why you're going to get quality drug, instead of maybe just going to the drugstore and getting something that you don't even know if it will work for what you are feeling.
Yeah, true.
So that's also one thing that we are hoping that maybe the next government would add to their policy.
Yeah.
Okay, another policy that we think the government should look at is, first, we used to have health and youth centers in our communities like PPAG, where girls, or where everyone can walk through, get access to information on sexual and reproductive health. And yes, that we don't get to see that nowadays.
Yeah.
I quite remember living in Cape Coast, Ola. There was one very close to University of Cape Coast. So whenever you are passing by, you get to see these centers with pictures being posted on the walls, saying that if you get pregnant, it will end your education and all that. Yeah. Walking by that building every day, seeing that was a form of education for me, because I was seeing that every day. But we don't have these centers anymore. So I think it should be something that the government should look at now that there's COVID. The effect now on girls, it has widened. The gap that we wanted to close when it comes to girls not staying in school and inequality, teenage pregnancy. Now the effect has widened. So the government should look at policies that will help girls to come to school, and this is one that they should look at.
Okay.
I think
you good.
That's it.
Good. So I also had my national service with PPAG some years back, and with the little understanding I had was these days they are solely financing everything themselves, and the aid from foreign countries is not coming as they used to. So I believe the government can pump in money into PPAG and help them also educate these children in rural areas and even the cities. Yeah. So the next policy is on security. Okay,
so now health. Let's go back to health, the sanitary part. Okay. Yes. So talking about the sanitary part again. Now that the administration, the government, they are planning on their next administration. So if they get to win, then it means sanitary pads, if they will even implement that policy in the first place, it means sanitary pads are going to be free. Taxes.
Yes,
so there will be a lot of people going into that market. So we should never forget about sanitary pads. It's something that is health. There will be people going in there. So there should be quality checks when it comes to...
Exactly.
Well, I would say the greatest place, the greatest security for women is actually the school.
The school.
Yeah, because even with this pandemic, with COVID-19, has actually showed us that there is no other place that was better for women, like girls, to actually stay than in the school. Because during the 3 weeks of lockdown here in Ghana, just the 3 weeks of lockdown, there were 9,000 estimated 9,000 unwanted pregnancies.
Wow.
With 16,000 unsafe abortions.
Hey, 3 weeks.
That was just
the 3 weeks. And right now they've been home for almost like 6 months now.
Yeah.
So can you just quantify it?
Wow.
And we actually just last month we were doing some projects. So we went to some villages, and most of the girls that we talked to, they were in like their 17, 18 years.
So from 14 to 18.
And they were
2 out of 5 girls.
Yeah, they were like 3 months pregnant, 2 months pregnant, 4 months pregnant.
Wow.
So it's like they just got pregnant during
the lockdown,
the time that they are actually been absent from school.
Because I saw a video on social media concerning a woman who works at Kaswa, and she was saying that we should leave the lockdown because children were getting pregnant in Kaswa. And I made fun of it. I was thinking, how 3 weeks pregnant, and wow, 9,000 is happening.
It's happening.
Wow, it's serious.
Happening.
Yeah. So school is not just a learning place for girls. School is the safest, as Kingsley said. They get to socialize in school. They get to build their personal relationship with other people, and that's where they get to develop themselves. So, school being closed, girls were abused. Data came out, research came out, information coming out that domestic abuse increased, teen pregnancy increased, sex exploitation, girls being exploited increased. So this alone shows that school is not just a learning place for girls, but one of the safest places for them to be. So since we are gradually moving to school and gradually moving to schools, and that the government should really look at it.
And also, when we were talking about the education, you were talking about the infrastructure. So with me, I actually think that that's one thing that the government should actually seek to actually do more soon than later, because they need more infrastructure. So this double track system is going to stop, because we're talking about girls being in school, and just when they get out of school they get pregnant. It's also happening even when there was this double track system, because they get to be home more now.
Yeah.
So they get to actually get exploited more, because someone will get to see the girl in the neighborhood all the time and starts growing fantasies.
Yeah, true.
Perhaps it would not have been so if the girl had been in school. So infrastructure is something that the government should really look at, because we need our girls back in school.
Yeah,
we need, because most of these girls, the African Union, I think, gave an estimate that after this period that girls have been in school, over 1 million girls all over Africa
won't go back to school
because they will get pregnant.
Wow.
And that is, you might hear it as figures, but it's happening.
It's the reality.
It's the reality.
And it's a whole lot of human resource that the government can look at.
Wow.
Over 1 million people won't go back to school because they will be pregnant.
This is serious.
This is very serious.
Very serious, because with the exploitation, I was even thinking that because food is free with junior high school, you go to school, you are fed for free. And if you are staying home and you don't have food, somebody will exploit you and have sex with you because of food. So, this is really serious.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So let's move to technology.
Yeah. Okay. I think the government, the certain government, they are the one that released their manifesto. So that's the one we can talk about now.
Yeah.
They were talking about giving free Wi-Fi in all secondary. I think it was secondary schools or
head secondary schools.
Yeah. So free Wi-Fi in all secondary schools. So if there is going to be free Wi-Fi, then I think there should be intensification of our cyber security here in the country.
Yeah.
Because our internet is not filtered.
True.
Anything comes. Anything comes. So, yeah.
And I think it was, as you said, a certain government. So that's the only thing that we can talk about for now. Free Wi-Fi is very. I think it's a great policy, because we get to have computers being in school that have been left there for years.
Yeah.
There's computer there, but
Pentium 1.
True. It's not functional.
No data to even use it.
Yeah.
The kids, the student gets to see the computer, but they don't even know how when it's on, how it's like, how to use the computer. So I think it's very good. It will help in education. But as Kingsley said, there should be what did you say? Something on cybersecurity.
Yeah, there should be more cybersecurity should be intensified.
Yeah.
And I also believe that they should also recruit robotics teachers to also help students in senior and junior high school learn robotics. I had a friend who came on this podcast who is into robotics, and he was telling me that he goes to schools to even offer free service, and nobody minds him. They don't mind him because they think they'll be paying him money, but he wants to even teach it for free. And people are not curious about robotics, and developed countries take much interest in robotics.
In that, I think COVID really exposed us. COVID opened our eyes, if I'm to put it in that way. Opened our eyes to the fact that digital or IT is something that we haven't explored much. There's a lot of opportunities in there that we should look at.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at that, and we are looking at girls' development, we should never leave girls behind. Women are the least, the population with that have least access to technology.
Yeah.
Yes. So we should look at getting more girls into IT, into robotics, into that. It's not like they are not even excited though. I quite remember we volunteered with some organization, robotics. The girls were so excited to learn, but the thing is the access to this education, even and those that teach these robotics were also complaining about the fact that the governments are not even giving them the space to even operate and teach the students.
True.
They want to teach, but the space to teach, the resources to do that, it's not there.
It's not there, it's true. So this friend who came on podcast who teaches robotics is now going to door seeking for people to let him teach their children.
Can you imagine?
And he wants to teach for schools for free. Free. And these days everything is about skills. Robotics is skills. The next generation they need these skills. So we should give that way for policies like this to make robotics very compulsory in school alongside technology and let the children explore. Things are happening in this world.
And even let's say robotics and the internet and stuff, they're all, let's say, higher levels of technology. Let's even go to our rural areas, something as basic as, let's say, a television.
Yeah.
I was listening to the information minister and he was saying that 90% of students actually did not benefit from the online thing that the government was doing during which means just 10% have access to internet and it's very bad.
True.
And I think that also has to do with our telecommunication networks. Their tariffs are too expensive.
Yeah.
We are in a developing country
with poor service.
With poor service. And I think the government can maybe negotiate better with them so they can actually give us better services and better like tariffs in general. Because
and another thing that I think the challenges lies in widening the access of skills and based in education and training. So how many people know IT? I quite remember you finish uni and they give you a computer and you can't even operate it well. Typing, you are very slow because it's not something that we are used to. I think this is the time for us to change the narrative. This is the time for us to change. IT, we need it. We need it now. Coronavirus has really exposed us to the fact that there's a whole lot of opportunities. There's a whole lot of things we can use IT for. And this is the time to start.
And let's be honest with ourselves. Ghana, we have a lot of good policies. Then, because of bureaucracy, when it gets there to the top, they'll tell you it's going through a process. See, people can make things happen within a day in this country. But if they want to make things happen, they can make things happen. We know. So they should take education very serious. They should take these children's development very serious. Things are happening in Japan. Things are happening in USA. The children are doing things. During the lockdown, I watch things on YouTube and I see children doing things with their hand. And Ghanaian children, they can't do anything.
Yeah, so I was in a project, in a program outside the country, and you could see a whole robot being used for communication and all that. Artificial intelligence.
See.
Other countries are talking about. It's not like they are just even talking about. They are doing it.
And
they are doing it.
There was even this kid at the program that was like, was it 11 years or 12 years? Working on artificial intelligence.
Wow.
Why can't we do it? Or is it that Africa, we have to wait for the developed countries to utilize all these opportunities first before they come and drop it here for us to also get to know it? No, we can do it.
And I realized something during the lockdown, that the children who go to expensive schools in Accra were the ones flexing their muscles when it came to learning online. Yeah. So we see all these big men and their children, they'll be learning online.
Yeah, they're the ones that are used to
and
the IT
and all that.
They have access to computer,
internet.
They have access to internet in their house. They have teachers that teach them robotics. They have teachers that teach them IT, and they have access to that. How many percentage of these students do we have? The majority are the ones that are suffering. The majority are those that are the ones that don't have access to even just internet.
Exactly, true. And then let me chip in this important policy. most senior high schools have computer lab. So to get internet there, it's just the government providing internet access to these labs. With most junior high school, they don't even have computer labs. So I'm thinking the government can put in place a policy that will make every community have an internet access point. So a big building where with computers are functioning. So students can go in there to access internet freely. Like a library. Anytime can just go inside.
Like a library.
Like a library.
Like the fact that we sometimes have a library in a community. Why can't we have an IC centers in every community? As the government is now moving digital. Now governments have also seen that digital is the way to go.
Yeah.
So now if the digital is the way to go, then making policies, we need to invest more in IT education.
When I chat to my friends outside, when they're in the train, they are browsing for free. They are streaming things. Ghana here, if you want to, this is my community. If I want to really have internet, I have to stay there till midnight before I can even have good internet. Daytime, the internet is fluctuating and it's a whole lot.
So in gathering our data, we're in some communities, and when there's no sunlight, there's no internet.
This is
a community, yes.
They use like solar power.
Solar.
Wow.
That's power the internet. So when there's no light, when it's raining, there's no internet. So imagine we were in some community unless you move to some
there's a store,
a store so or a stone.
Everyone's phone is actually there.
Actually, wow. You have to go and stand there before you can get internet. You can even phone call. Just to even make a phone call.
Wow.
So this is what we are experiencing. This is what. So if we are talking about development, I think the government should stop looking at Accra and the capital cities and all that. The real people that are really suffering from everything and from COVID. You should look at the rural areas.
And the indictment on us is when the COVID came, there was a guy in this hinterland who created this machine where it can give you water when you just your hands is censored and the water will come and the liquid will come. This young guy was from the hinterland. The guy wasn't based in the city.
Yes.
The city children who go to school, they couldn't create anything. But somebody in the hinterland was creating something like this, something beautiful like this. And this child doesn't have all these facilities these city children are benefiting from. So we should try as much as possible to go beyond the talk, the policies talk. Every 4 years, people come to talk. And nothing happen. Another 4 years to come to talk. Now put in place. If not for anything, just help the children develop. So now let's go to vocational. Kingsley.
Well, I think there is actually a deputy minister, like fully in charge. Deputy minister for education, fully in charge for vocation.
Oh, in Ghana.
In Ghana, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're actually doing well, but I think that education is something that I think should come free. I think the former president, Mahama, he was talking about it that when he comes to power, he's going to make TVETs. I think that's what they call it.
TVET, yeah.
He's going to make them free. And I think it's also very important because, as we all know, education sometimes is not just about the formal education. And it's not everyone that actually does well in the, let's say, the formal education, the book you need to learn.
Yeah, right? True. Yeah.
Some people are good with their hands.
Yeah, true.
And they are all forms of education. So not just the free senior high school. I think there should also be free technical education because not everyone can go to secondary school. Yeah, some would want to work with their hands.
Yeah, true.
And if that's also free, in a way, it balances it.
Yeah, true.
Those that want to do the white collar jobs can go and do the white collar jobs. Those that want to work with their hands will work with their hands.
I think with that, it's will even reduce the unemployment rate that's in the country because you go to school and it's a formal education. You're supposed to finish and expect to be in a white collar job, and that is how it has always been like from since.
Yeah, true. True.
So if you are giving free education, as Kingsley said, I think there should be free TVET education. Yeah, it should look at that side, and these are people that work with their hands and do a lot in our homes and our community, and we want to see development in girls' education. There should be an investment in that, so that teen mothers that can't go back to school, girls that are pregnant now, girls that are disadvantaged now because of the effects of COVID and even before COVID can utilize that
and
sector?
One major lie that has been part of our culture is to go to school, go and have a degree, and they lie to you that after school now your work is there.
You make it.
4 years in school, my major regret was using school fees on a course that I'm not even benefiting a city from. I did IT, and the IT I was taught after 4 years, all the things I can do today was self-learning.
What's self-learning?
All the things I was taught in IT for 4 years was theory. I can't do websites. I can't create apps. Everything. Teacher comes and he will threaten us that if you ask questions, we'll do quiz. And you will keep quiet because we don't want to do quiz and we're happy. I don't know the line. The reality is that when they come outside, do it, let's see. And I can't do anything. So now I regret all these things. Let's learn from thinking that when you do vocational, it means you don't have head. You have head. Intelligent people have skills.
Yeah.
If you're not intelligent, you can't learn any skill. But with our preconceived idea of when you are doing vocational, it means you didn't pass your exam, so you have to. No, it's a lie. When Ghanaians living abroad, majority of them are doing work based on skills, not on book or your qualifications. It's based on skills. It's not about the intellect, it's about the skills. They should be truthful. And most Ghanaians living in Ghana who are rich, who once living abroad, they were doing skilled-based job, not things connected to intellect. You can't even do skills you can't have skills without having intellect. So, like, parents should focus more on children having basic vocational skills. When they're on break, you can teach them how to sew dress. There's a lot of money in sewing. You can teach them to venture into robotics. Teachers are around to come to your house to teach these children. Let them have skills. The book long thing is over. Nobody cares about your first class, second class, your third. No, the classes are over now. It's all about skills.
Now our generation is changing.
It's changing.
And we have to position ourselves to be able to exploit these opportunities.
Exactly.
So if we don't position ourselves, if we continue to live how we used to live way back when we wanted to just learn, you are just learning IT.
Yeah.
And you can't even do anything with IT today. You can't even do anything with it. You can't even just get a website.
Exactly. Some basic things you can't do.
At least yours is even a bit. I learned agric science.
Okay.
And what I'm doing now is totally
different.
You say it.
I'm not doing anything
connected. You see.
So now let's talk about girls' education. Girls that are home now.
Sure.
So now, girls that are home, COVID really exposed a lot. Seriously, most of the students were supposed to use learn on the internet, use the internet to learn. Imagine someone in Frabodemba Tomochoka village, someone in Besiase, someone in Ejaka, someone in Bosomche, a village somewhere. Imagine people, someone even in Manfe, I was always a village, but imagine people in some rural areas that don't have access to even internet in the first place, for them to even have access to even learn. So lots of students didn't learn. They are staying home, and you can ask some of them for months. They couldn't even learn.
Yeah, sure.
And we are used to learning with a teacher sitting in front of us. So learning on our own became very difficult. And I think
our educational system actually has to change.
It has. We have to be more skills-based than...
More skills-based.
The reforms need to be implemented. The government need to see to it that the reforms that they are putting in place need to be implemented.
Yeah, and I'm also pleading with people with skills in our communities. Like SHE Achieve Afrika, you guys go to the hinterlands to help people. We have guys also in communities who can make themselves available to teach children some vocational skills. Okay, anything you can do, just look around your community, gather these children, teach them something vocational. This is the future.
It's actually part of our plans.
Okay.
SHE Achieve actually is planning on setting up a youth center, and it's also going to have like a place for vocational teaching.
Okay.
So this is something that it's part of our dream, and we are hoping we are going to get enough support and stuff to start it, because we need to help out.
Yeah, we need to help
There's so much that needs to be done.
The effect that COVID has brought is very huge.
Yeah.
We already had that kind of gap when it comes to girls not being in school and the effect of girls' education. Challenges that girls were facing when it comes to girls' education, and COVID has really exposed us. So we have to do something extra if we want to bring these girls back to school, because as statistics show that 1 million girls will not go back to school as a result of COVID.
It's a sad thing.
It's a sad thing. So if you want to see the impact, then we really have to do things that will help girls come to school. Building these centers will really help. So we are seeking for people, organizations that would love to help these projects come to fruition. Please come to our aid. Let's come together. Let's work. Let's organize these centers in communities that will help girls have access to free vocational education and sex education there.
Okay. So if you are listening on to help SHE Achieve Afrika, they have a website, sheachieveafrica.org. The Africa is K, the C is K. So sheachieveafrica.org. You get on there, you can read about them, you can get in touch with them to help. So Kingsley, before you go, your closing remarks.
I would actually like to thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to talk about such a delicate issue. This is something that we actually are very passionate about.
Yeah. We
really want to help out, and we're hoping that the government is also going to bring in policies that's going to make our work easier. And so that's what we are hoping for. So you even coming up with this topic is actually God sent. So thank you very much.
Thank you to Barbara and Kroma. Your closing remarks.
And I think Kingsley said it all. But another thing that we'd like to just relate, let the government know to please, if we are implementing the free SHS, they should really pay attention to the girls' education, as we want education to roll back to its normal. Please, we should pay attention to the girls' education, because most girls are home and might not come back to school. What are the things that we are supposed to do? What are the things that the government have put in place to help these girls come back to school? This is to reintegrate them in school. This is what we are talking about. This is the discussion that we're looking for.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate the work you are doing for Mother Ghana. So if somebody wants to help, any contact number they can call.
Okay, so as you said, they can visit us on our website, www.sheachieveafrica.org. You can visit us on our website. Our contacts are there. We have forms there if you want to be a volunteer. We are ready for collaborations because we want to achieve greater impact. So we are.
On social media, your pages?
It's all SHE Achieve Afrika on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.
Okay.
SHE Achieve Afrika.
Okay. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. 5 policies the next government should put in place in child development in Ghana. And I had Kingsley J and Barbara Nkrumah from SHE Achieve Afrika. And they have been working all these years to help Mother Ghana. God bless them. Stay safe. And keep listening to Madweek's podcast. Bye.
You try to win, I'm just doing me. You try to win, I'm just doing me. You try to win, I'm just doing me. You try to win.